If one of your goals is to become millionaire, you have to learn money thinking right thoughts, guaranteed to have an impact on the financial. The result that the rich get. Now do you know what else? 1968 psychologists Robert Rosenthal or Nora Jacobson via scientific experiments have proven the existence Pygmalion effect. According to this, the phenomenon, people using their thoughts can influence one or another outcome of their events. Brian Tracy considers this discovery proof that the person able to mentally attract money, success in your life, and of course it's not just as it may seem at first look, but the main thing is that such an opportunity exists, asserts Tracy. Brian on the way wealth itself relied on the effect Pygmalion, and always singled out the factor of thinking about his videos developed by him. Tips in this video will help you become richer. Imagine that tomorrow you forget about money problems and you can earn millions using just your brain, so watch it video to the end so you don't miss a thing. Drops of valuable information. Welcome to channel Notes Millionaire Dreaming. Get rich, then just subscribe. Other people's thoughts prevent getting rich. According to statistics, 90% of people do not have own opinion because they beliefs are often already imposed by someone. According to Brian Tracy, this is one of the factors of poverty. Our brain is under the influence of parents, friends, pop culture. Anything can form a way of looking at life and people. Negative finances appear in installations that prevent them from getting rich. Further, says Brian, evaluate stereotype thinking is difficult for us. More habitually consider any of our thoughts part of the manifestation of our personality, although not they all belong to us. Our subconscious are formed in childhood and work as sponge without analyzing how useful that or other information, for example your pups yelled at mom, that spends a lot of your knowledge, could interpret as spend money badly, you will be punished for it. Or if mom told dad that money no, and the scandal began. Subconscious can write down that money dangerous, will not love you, and on you will scream, and in the end you will stay in loneliness. Thoughts come to us from life wisdom, such shades as never being rich was not worth it, and start. If you dig deeper into each among us, there are such unconscious ideas that help us to accept the decision in life is not only about proverbs and sayings. For example, if mom told you that you were a humanitarian, most likely you still believe it and don't make a bold attempt to figure it out in a complex circuit or system setup, although they could find a lot in it pleasure or even do it source of their sales and earnings. Here you can add influence, the inner circle of those with whom we communicate. Most often their judgments about yours opportunities and generally affect you. Break all patterns today. Wall between you and wealth is huge. Baggage of other people's thoughts, of attitudes and beliefs. He will have to fight the template. Thinking blurs your mind. You don't. You will see the possibilities. You will not be able to accept important cash decisions. State Russia. If act out of habit but voluntarily, without thinking through the course of events, it is possible. See the situation in a new light. How do you work? Many of us live on autopilot. Drive the same every day. Route you see along the way, the same thing with the time you stop noticing that you surrounds. But if suddenly the road is closed for repairs or some other reason, and you have to look for a detour, forced to pay attention to everything new, what is around you, most likely you act in the same way and intend to a variety of areas. As soon as you understand that is the stuck and events go in a circle, try to change something. The action you will take to getting out of the knurled rut will help you. Use the situation is different and will point to new opportunity is key. And we are all ever heard of strategic thinking, but not everyone understands its essence and earnings impact. Brian Tracy believes that this is a key factor that separates the individual from the cherished financial goals. To consider the process of wealth need at different levels, calculating everything. Personal steps, forward thinking. Strategic is to know what you want and what are you striving for on the way to your goals, and use available resources and what else is required for this skill. Helps to see the final result and think ahead today. When half of the jobs are dying faster than we have time to learn the skill, everything becomes strategic. More important in the life of every person in modern world where everything is fast. Changes develop a strategy that does not. Turns 180 degrees in. A year or even earlier is not so easy but quite capable of doing relatively. Anti-brittle global target and e.g. to live prosperously in a certain place or work where you can develop professionally and personally. And there is a strategy in its purest form. We do not. We know exactly what will happen tomorrow, but we can learn to understand what to invest in. Precious time and other resources too. Eventually, achieve the desired development of the skill. Think strategically and uncomplicated in. First, you need to learn to foresee before. Then to take some action. Must mentally imagine further developments and results, which we end up with. For example, ask yourself what you want to achieve. What will my actions or words lead to? Also, when solving problems or tasks, even the simplest should always be developed. Fall back trying to guess the course of events. We mentally draw up a plan according to which we will act. Sometimes it seems that we thought through everything to the smallest detail, but the situation develops so that comes to mind. Words man supposes a God disposes or wants to make God laugh. Tell him their plans, unforeseen, the circumstances in which we are lost, because they mentally planned a different the course of action. Therefore, as training, planning your actions, you can suggest multiple options, developments and rehearse their actions. In each case can be remembered some complex conflict, the situation that happened to us when we dissatisfied with their behavior, and provide at least 3 exit options, of which would be 4 times less painful in the future if we. Let's get into a similar circumstance task. We can foresee the result and easily choose the best option for you. Behavior. Empty cup rule. Potential. The human brain is boundless, and with that, it is difficult to argue with the fact that it is important only. Keep in mind that this is a tool in your hands, and only you decide in what direction it guide if you want to do everything properly and truly get rich in questions of thinking are best. Stick to the empty cup rule of it. The bottom line is that you should free your mind completely. Get rid of unnecessary knowledge and teachings, beliefs and prejudices that you get in the way. In Zen practice it's called the consciousness of a beginner, and the consciousness beginner means to awaken the desire to learn, become curious and open to everything new, even being an expert in such and such the area you begin to study the situation with. Clean slate and discover it for yourself anew as a beginner would do, or baby. So from now on, you're like future millionaires take the same path which Brian Tracy went to his. A million with you have the notes of a millionaire. You will become a feeder.